Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Funday with Paul and Judy.
Paul and Judy. You're Judy.
Want to cheers?
Let's cheers.
It
on
is,
the
after all,
official
Sunday Funday.
mugs. Right?
We love these. They were a 4th anniversary present
Courtesy
from
of
Glenna. Yep, one of our followers. So I have to make sure that I don't jinx it by putting it down before taking a drink.
Notice how quickly I took mine. Anyway, and it's not coffee in here.
What a week this has been. As we
Yeah, too bad there was no news going on.
Yeah, no news. My gosh, I think we've had the news on for an entire week, just watching all of the events, and they just keep coming. Yeah, how has your week been, by the way, as we get our show started and see your names and your images come through? Hi, Carol. Welcome to the show. Happy Sunday Funday. Team Debbie and Dawn, your dynamic duo.
How about this?
PLJ and Dawn
they're out of town.
Yeah, it's got to be really early out where you are right now.
If you look at PLJ's Facebook, you'll see what they wore to the wedding.
I don't think they wore that to the wedding. I think they wore that out to Wyoming on the day before the wedding.
Is it different today?
Oh, I didn't see it. I haven't been online at all this morning. Just get ready for the show.
So
anyway, hi PLJ. Hi Sean. Margie's here too. Hi Margie. Happy Sunday Funday.
We should mention, obviously, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the news, and obviously we like this to be a very lighthearted show always, but there's a significant event today, which is of course 9/11, which was a terrorist attack 21 years ago, right?
21 years ago, exactly. And this iconic image is something that is emblazoned into all of our minds. There were all kinds of contributions this morning, and memorials and speeches and silences for the times of course, the attacks. But on the lighter side of things, I was looking at, I actually was online this morning, and I was looking at things that are going on now in commemoration. And I guess if you go to New York City, which we have not done in years, we're long overdue, but there's a wonderful National September 11th Memorial Museum, and you can go and visit. And I guess it's really heartwarming and awe-inspiring. And of course, these are the waterfalls that are placed in the 2 locations at the foot of where the original towers were. And they have 24-hour waterfalls. And then all the names of the people are inscribed on the sidewalks and on the walls around it.
And on this day, they read the names of all of the 2,799 victims.
Yes.
One gentleman who was reading the names was 4 years old when he lost his family, his father.
Yeah.
And he's 25 now.
Wow.
So,
well, they talked about on the news also that now there's really a whole generation of people born in the last 21 years who weren't around and who don't have a memory of where were you on this day. So that's another reason that the memorial is just so important, right?
Absolutely.
And then something else that, of course, was big in the news this week, which I've followed forever and enjoyed.
Judy is an Anglophile, is that what we call it?
So much. The Crown. I don't know if any of you watched that, but it's definitely commemorative. Speaking of that, 70 years on the throne.
Think about that.
Yeah.
The only monarch from England that has been my entire life.
Right.
Elizabeth.
Both of us. Yeah. She was really quite a lady and someone to emulate for sure. I think that's where I probably get that stoic side of me where it's kind of stiff upper lip, you know?
Well, it's interesting. You hear some of the stories, obviously, in retrospect. And she was in the army.
Yeah.
And she was fixing Jeeps during World War II.
She was a mechanic.
Yeah.
She rode motorcycles. She loved Range Rovers. She loved corgis.
My favorite thing.
And she loved her horses.
My favorite thing was they had the former royal chef.
Hi, Glenna. Yes. And, that was a great interview.
They were interviewing him about, what did she like to eat? And she said she eats very, very much a regular person in that regard. He said he
Yes.
thought when he became the royal chef, it would be champagne and caviar like
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. Thinking that, well, that's what a
No.
queen would have
Said
at every
every
meal.
single birthday. Apparently, there are 2 birthday celebrations. I don't know, probably one official and one private.
Mm.
And she liked her simple chocolate cake. That's what she went for.
Sounds like you.
Sounds like me a lot.
Dessert for breakfast.
But it also said that they would do these lavish little garnishes with the lemon,
Oh,
and
lemon
then
wedge.
she would insist that, like, as they were just going to get rid of all of that, she's like, "Well, you can use this lemon again." He said she was quite frugal, which I think is really good for someone who is the figurehead of a nation, to
Yeah.
be kind of a real person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Lots of memories coming in, and a lot of you saying that you watched many of the things that have been going on this week as well.
Yep.
So we just wanted to kind of let you know, being in the know, and that this is a live show. We don't want to let anything go sort of unsaid necessarily, but still keep you upbeat and keep you laughing. And of course, that's something that we're good at. If not you, each other.
Sometimes we do the show just for us.
Yeah. I do also want to let you know that our sponsor today, we have a new sponsor. And Paul doesn't even know,
I don't even know
that this one was set up. He went and did his workout this morning. Yep, which is very good of him. And I said, I should really come with you and go work out. But then I was still sitting in the same spot at the computer when he got back. I said, it's just as well, because I had a lot to prep for this show. But yes, we have a new sponsor, and it's one that I have fallen in love with as well. They don't compete with the micro ingredients, but it's something along the lines of supplements for your health. Now, don't let this image intimidate you.
Combat sports.
Yes, combat sports, supplements for combat sports. I do, as you know, I teach my booty bar classes, and soon to be 3 times a week. But I have found that the supplements, the daily supplements and vitamins that these people offer are magnificent. So when you go up to the top of the page, you'll see there's an area just called daily vitamins. So if you don't need all these performance things,
Correct.
you can get interesting ideas from here, like joints and bone health, for instance. You can get weight loss help. You can get daily health. You can even get gut health. And all of them are listed at the top. And I picked one, for instance, because so many of you have said, you know, I love the fact that you not only make us laugh, but every once in a while we get a good education. So I decided to look up the one called Heal. And I don't mean like heal a dog. I mean healing your body.
Fix yourself.
With CoQ10. And if you decide you want to try any of these things, you say, yes, I would like help losing weight, or yes, I have had trouble with my gut, I have a leaky gut, or I really need help with concentration, or I need help with joints and bones. You can go to something on this site, and when you scroll down from it, you'll see a whole explanation, even more detailed than the one on micro ingredients. As I said, it's not an either or. They both are, they serve different purposes. But look at this, how Heal works. So they talk about the mitochondria in your cells, and as you age, the production levels of CoQ10 decrease. In fact, low levels of CoQ10 have been linked to chronic diseases like diabetes, cancer, fibromyalgia, muscular and cardiovascular diseases. So they talk about what this does in promoting healthy aging, the importance of cardiovascular, immune health, neurological, even ovarian function health, and skin health. So I thought, oh my gosh, it's fascinating. And that's why I wanted to let you know about this company, because I just am excited about them being a sponsor. And if you go on that site, which of course I put all of the links that I ever talk about, I put in the comments that end up below the video after the video is over. But if you put in Primal 20, you get 20% off your first order. So just like Primal Farm is the name of the company,
nice.
Primal 20. And the guy who runs the company, he and I have been in contact with one another, and he said, that's just for your followers. So that I said, you should have made it Judy 20. They would have remembered better.
Primal lurks up.
He said, okay, next time. Primal lets them help them remember me better. He said, yeah.
That's correct.
So that was cute. But anyway, they are the sponsors for our Signs of All Kinds today. So
I'm looking forward to it.
We have some good ones.
I only see them when you see them, except when I contribute them.
This is true. This is true. So sometimes he's reading off the cuff, reading
Yeah,
blind,
blind.
right? All right. Well, our first one today comes from Connie M. So she says, a duck, a skunk, and a deer went out to dinner at a restaurant one night. When it came time to pay, the skunk didn't have a cent. The deer didn't have a buck, so they put the meal on the duck's bill.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's very funny.
Honestly, if I saw a duck, a skunk, especially the skunk, uh, going into a restaurant, I don't know that I'd want to eat there.
Instead of waiting to see who was paying, you would just say,
a skunk, I'm
let's
not
pick
so
someplace else.
sure.
Connie contributed the next one too. Thank you, Connie. These were great. Okay, so I'll challenge you on this.
Okay, so Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd break into a distillery. Daffy turns to Elmer and says, "Is this whiskey?" Elmer says, "Yes, but not as whiskey. That's robbing a bank."
Right?
I like it.
Still very good. Yeah, that's why I said it'll be a challenge for you, especially if you haven't read it through the first time
I
around.
hadn't.
Hi, Marianne. Happy Sunday Funday. Thank you, Connie, for your contributions. As we move on, our next one is from Christine V. I'm thinking of taking the wine box back to complain. It said once opened, it would last 6 weeks. It only lasted me 3 hours. Nice.
I like that.
Nice. Very good.
Although I have to say,
okay.
You could have done it in 2 hours.
In all honesty, this 3-hour business. Thank you, Christine. Janice M, speaking of drinks, offers the next one. I like this one too.
Me?
Sure.
Wheat makes beer, corn makes whiskey, grapes make wine, potatoes make vodka, agave makes tequila, rice makes sake, sugarcane makes rum. You can't get drunk without farmers. You're welcome.
Isn't that great?
That's very good.
Yay!
And it's all true.
Round of applause, Janice. Yes, that was excellent. I love it. Our next one is from Karen R. And the lady who got out of the car is telling the gentleman looking at all the people on the back window, no, that's not my family. That's how many people I've hit. Yes. Oh dear. Speaking of being, intoxicated while on the road, don't drink and drive.
That rocks wine.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Karen, for the contribution. Sherry P. Oh, this is for you, Paul. You can read this one.
Today's math problem. If George is 68 and his girlfriend is 22, how much money does George have?
So when I did read this one to Paul.
Yes.
And I said, okay, so does that mean he has a lot of money, or is the answer not much anymore?
That's both are correct.
That's the riddle. That's the riddle. If the train is going at 90 miles an hour,
and then once it goes awry, poor George.
Poor George. That's a good one, Sherry. Good math problem.
No, really, poor George.
For the day. Yeah, literally. Our next one's from Jane. Jane has this one. I helped my neighbor out with something this morning, and she said to me, "Oh, I could marry you." I couldn't believe it. You do something nice for someone, and they threaten to ruin your life in return. Love it, Jane. I had to read that one through a couple times. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hysterical. Jane also offered the next one.
I'm so freaking bored that I'm ready to call Jake from State Farm to ask him what he's wearing.
Jane has some good ones. They're excellent.
By the way,
yes,
I have a bone to pick with State Farm.
Oh, why? What?
Well, because the original one was just so funny, and I think they've gone downhill. So, if you remember the original one,
yes,
it was a woman thinking her husband was talking to a woman late at night
on the phone, right?
But he was talking to his Jake from State Farm.
Yes.
She didn't believe it.
What are you wearing, Jake?
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Khakis. She said she sounds hideous. Well, she's a guy, so.
Do we watch too much television? Is what you're thinking? No, we just really appreciate
like a
good commercials.
And we hate bad ones.
All right, back to Signs of All Kinds because we're not finished with them yet. So our next one is from Andrea W. I told my suitcases no vacation this year. Now I'm dealing with emotional baggage.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Something about these veterinary signs, right?
Yeah. Yes, that and what's the other one?
That Indian Wells or something like
Yes,
that, yeah.
Indian. Yes,
But
yes,
I
yes.
remember when I was riding my bike where we used to live, and they would have some funny things.
Yeah. Hi, Marianne. Thanks for weighing in, Rose. Happy Sunday Funday. And Andrea, thank you for your contribution to our signs. Chris A contributed the next one. Whatever life throws at you, duck and let it hit someone else. That should have followed up with the
The
duck and the
paying the bill.
yeah, going into the restaurant, the skunk and the deer. Yeah, I missed that one. This next one is from our things that make you go, yeah, kind of interesting or just funny. And this is contributed by Christine V. Everett Vacuum. Everything we sell sucks. Very good.
Yes.
If Christine is watching, she knows I've been saving that for a couple of weeks. I've had that in the coffers for a while, Christine. Thank you for the contribution. Very fun. Were they good?
Yeah, big round of
Round of
applause.
applause. I know. I love them. And I love when they come in and I'm sitting over there by myself. He says, "What's going on?" So sometimes I share.
I never get to
sometimes
see
I
them
keep it
until
waiting.
until you see them. As I said, unless it's one of my contributions.
Right, right. Well, speaking of one of your contributions,
Mhm.
we are continuing with our series, The Best of Sunday Fundays.
Ah, yes.
So guess what's next?
Well, we are going to. This was an episode where we had Dave King
Mhm.
as our guest,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you. I have to tell you something. For those of you that don't know him, or maybe you do remember him from the QVC days, and he's out on the West Coast now, he's one of the happiest people on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
He's just always in a good mood, and it
It's
puts
true.
you in a good mood. And we had a lot of fun. I could only do a little bit of it because it could, again, watch the whole show because
Yeah.
he's that kind of infectious
And I'll
guy.
put the link where you can watch the show. Actually, today at the bottom of the screen, I figured
Okay.
out how to do it. But you're going to need a pen and piece of paper because it's kind of a weird link. Sometimes,
Okay.
you know, the URL addresses are so long. So I decided to use that little bit.ly shortener. So it's a very short little link, but you'll want to write it down exactly as I show it to you. So tell us what
Okay,
the first
so the first one is really just
link
introducing him. And first we introduce him off air. We're talking about all of his accomplishments. And then we bring him in for the toast and all that.
Okay. All right. So I'll mute us first and then you'll be able to hear Dave.
So anyway, welcome in. We have a chock full lineup. We have a very, very good friend of ours and guest that's going to be coming up in just a few moments. You all know him as Dave King, former host at QVC,
Yes.
actor extraordinaire.
Real estate mogul.
Yes. What else?
Grandpa.
Penn State grad.
Yes.
Penn State football player.
Yes.
And recreational basketball player.
And we plan to find out what else he's been up to
sure.
these days because he's got a very, very full schedule. So it'll be fun. The drum roll.
Yes.
There you go. Good job.
You know him, you love him.
There he is.
My brother from another mother, as he always called me.
The one and only Dave King. Hi, handsome.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Fantastic. You're looking good.
Thank you. Likewise, I love the Steeler regalia.
It's funny when he talked about the Steelers.
Oh yeah, and well, he was from Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
he was one of the. I moved to QVC. We hit it off so because we both went to Penn State.
Yeah.
We both went to Pittsburgh.
Time.
Yeah, but I jumped the gun. The next one I think is the toast.
Oh. I should have saved my little drink for the toast. And he toasted us, didn't he? Or was he not as prepared as maybe?
It was a little early in
people,
California.
That's true. 3 hours earlier. Okay, so this is another little clip from our best of with.
So tell everybody now. You've been living on the left coast for probably 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, 9 years.
9 years. I can't believe that.
So you're about what 9 o'clock in the morning there now, right?
Yep. It's exactly 9:05 or
So
Gatorade,
you did bring a beverage to toast us with, though?
Yeah, that's fine. I should have brought a mimosa though.
So that was that I put the little link at the bottom to be able to see the whole episode.
Okay.
But you have a few more.
Oh, we do,
don't you? Okay.
And this is it's so much fun because when you've worked with somebody for a long time and you haven't been together, but we get into the stories.
Sure.
And
that's what it's all. That's the fun of the behind the scenes.
And Judy, who's always a consummate interviewer, asks him about acting in roles and things like that.
Oh yes, because I think, is he still doing that out in LA?
I would think
because he's got an agent.
Yeah,
so
we need to call him and catch up with him again.
We're really bad too about calling all of these friends of ours and telling them, "Hey, we're featuring you again on Sunday Funday with Paul and Judy." So we'll have to let him know too.
Sure.
By the way, if you get any calls,
there you go.
it's because you're a star again.
And actually, this first one, we happened to be in a movie together, but we had no scenes together.
Oh, that's right. You shot them at different times,
yes.
But and you ended up in the same movie.
You mentioned you have been very, very busy since you left the shopping channel industry. And I'm not just talking about the movie that you and I starred in, which we had no scenes.
I know. That was so much fun. You guys were awesome.
And he was, you were Billy? That was your character's name?
Yeah, I was Billy. Yeah, let me turn this up, by the way. Yeah, Billy. And I'd forgotten all about that.
Blocked it out.
You didn't go to the showing after you guys did that movie. Did you go to the showing? Because we were in the audience.
I did not.
Paul was the bad guy, and when we were walking, we were standing on the side, probably walking.
I was waiting for you to come in the ladies' room.
Yeah, and he got the
so many dirty looks.
It was really funny. He's like, it was a character. I'm playing a role. Speaking of that, do you have any upcoming roles that you
can share?
Yeah, that we can share with the class.
No, there's nothing in the can right now, but I have an audition tomorrow for something cool, which I don't want to jinx it, but it's very cool.
Okay.
But it's so funny you were mentioning that when you're a character that people are angry with. When I did the principal on Parenthood, people would say, I like seeing you, Dave, but boy, I don't like you. I was like, I was like a good guy.
Means you did a good job.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. You played it well.
Yeah. So he was Parenthood. He was a principal and had a kid who had Asperger's in class, and it was constantly trying to make sure that the kid, Max is his name, had everything he needed, but also without disrupting class or disrupting the order and the procedures, etc. So we're constantly at odds.
Well, for me, playing the bad guy is not such a stretch. For you, it's very much a stretch.
That's cute.
It's true. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah,
it would be your very biggest stretch for him to be.
Just as you said, always smiling, always laughing, always making a joke, always making people feel good. And you can follow him on Facebook too.
Now,
easily.
The last one, and again, I could have run the whole show because it was so much fun. But
yeah.
The last
and that
one.
bit.ly link I keep putting up at the bottom of the screen. Just write it down verbatim, and you can then watch it. All you have to do is take what you've written down and type it again in your search bar, and then click enter, and it'll take you right to the video.
The last one is fun because
it was 3 years
this
ago.
has happened to both Judy and me, where people will find out you've been on QVC, and then they want to know, well, what was like Lori Grenier like, or what was
from Shark Tank.
So, and if we ever do a meet and greet, those are kind of the fun things that people want to know. How was June Rivers? Or
yes.
So, Judy poses this question to Dave. And he
let it rip.
He dishes some dirt. Let's just say
it was very, very funny. I was so surprised. And he didn't say, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. But when you have a real legit experience and it doesn't make you feel good inside your gut, you remember that. And then somebody asks you about it and maybe you're just like,
yeah, I've been waiting for that question.
that's right. I'm not going to protect that person. Okay,
Here we go.
So here we go.
From some of the roles, and we always used to get this and still do after being hosts on QVC, like who did you really love working with and who really surprised you and who was really like not such a nice person? Were there people that you've worked with lately on the movie sets who you're like, these are really cool, either guys or girls that you would, share with us?
Yeah, basically, everybody is really nice. Like I get a chance every time I do something, I always grab a shot of it to post. So like people you thought might not be nice, like Chevy Chase was super nice with Beverly D'Angelo. They did their pilot. I was in their pilot with them for kind of a reboot of their couple, that was in National Lampoon's Vacation. And the pilot didn't go anywhere, but he was really super nice. Kelsey Grammer directed me in a show that he was in. They did 6 episodes with Martin Lawrence in a show called Partners, and he was really great. So I did this show.
Actually.
Yeah, well, he was nice. Well, the thing was, I did this show called Beloved, which is also a pilot, and with Richard Dreyfuss in it. And I was really excited about that, and because I loved him ever since, Jaws, obviously, and Chapter 2 when he was in that. Just so many great movies.
Wasn't he also in Goodbye Girl with Marsha Mason?
Yes.
Dreyfuss? How about me? I'm terrible at this. You do not want me on your Trivial Pursuit team. So when I get one right, it's like,
He was with Marsha Mason, and Goodbye Girl was a great movie, a play. Neil Simon play made into a movie. It was really great. Anyway, so I was excited, and we're on set, and I go, Richard, is it okay if I get a pic? He goes, no. I was like, really?
Are you serious?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, I asked him twice.
Wow.
He just said no. I was like, dude, picture.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. He is off my Christmas card list now in solidarity with him.
We were just sitting there, literally sitting on set. It was I played a chaplain performing a wedding, and we had a break, and they were just resetting lights for the close-up shots, and he was just sitting there by himself, literally doing nothing. And I just popped down a seat next to him. I said, "Hey, Richard, great working with you. Is it okay, get a pic?" And I literally had my camera about to take the selfie. And he's like, "No."
Hey, never let it be said Richard didn't do the least he could do.
Exactly.
I told you, he just like let it fly.
But I gotta tell. I mean, by the way, this is a replay. Just so we're live.
Yeah,
we're showing an older.
We like to do the best.
Episode,
it's 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
It was 3 years ago because I wanted to give you the link again. So just to show you, if you wanted to watch
The
it,
whole thing.
that if you'd like to do the whole thing, to see the whole thing, the link is this right here on the screen, that bit.ly 3RR3PIY. But you have to write it in your search bar with all the upper and lower cases exactly like that. But yeah, that'll take you back 3 years.
And speaking of trivia and like a game show, I did a makeshift game show drilling him on Black history.
Oh, during the show. That's right. And
that all stemmed from Black History Month, where he was doing a show with Leah Williams, and I was doing a walk-on for my show.
And you were asking them questions.
Yeah, and they didn't do very well.
They didn't do their homework. That was too much fun.
He is just a great guy. So much fun. And his wife makes an appearance.
Yes, she does at the end. A lot of times with anybody that we would have a guest, we would say, because we've met all their spouses, is so-and-so around, like we did with Tony Brett.
Yeah, exactly.
We did that with
and the dogs.
King. Yes, exactly.
Speaking of a little bit of, I guess, questions that people have asked. One was, are we going to revert back to our time? Or are we going to keep 1 o'clock? I think we're just going to keep 1 o'clock.
Okay.
We'll just keep it going. And don't forget, if you're starting to watch football, which usually starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays, that's fine. The show lives on.
Yes.
So if you can't watch it live, then you watch the replay. That's just as good.
Which is why
Right.
it's fun to be able to share with you what the link is to be able to go back, because all of the shows that we've done, believe it or not, over the 4 years that we've been doing
Right.
Sunday Fundays live on YouTube and on Facebook.
And I'll also say part of that decision for me, as not the one who does most of the work, but Judy does, is that there's a big difference for us to do it from 1 than from noon.
Oh yeah.
I think that we're a little bit more relaxed. We have a little bit more time. So that's why we're going to probably keep it at 1 o'clock.
This is so funny. I've never seen someone just called Facebook user, but they say, Judy, I love my sterling silver black onyx ring. It's so comfortable to wear. And I wanted, the timing of that is so ironic, because it was the next thing I wanted to ask you is if you've received your little, what's the big deal?
Box,
Yeah. And inside, of course, is that nice little bag, but inside the nice little drawstring bag is the ring, which is our what's the big deal. This was the what's the big deal 2 months ago. And this is the what's the big deal in September. And I have loved getting messages from you. I've heard from 5 people, and even Carol today, who's watching the show. And earlier, Carol, you beat me to it, but it was earlier in the show. And she said, by the way, speaking of a great deal, I got my $25 onyx and sterling silver ring, which I happen to be wearing today too. And then another girlfriend of mine had ordered the Labradorite ring. They're all $25. And then another guy friend of mine ordered for himself the black onyx ring. And then Nikita ordered one of the rings and sent me a picture. She had ordered the Labradorite ring. Michelle ordered 2. She got the carnelian and the Petersite ring, which is almost completely sold out. I think we have a couple left
too. It's really good color.
I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, you're so sweet to let me know. And I'm sorry, the shaking of the computer.
Was that me?
Yes, we have it on kind of a rocky little pub table. And unfortunately, because there are a couple of different ways that we prop up the computer,
like
anytime we set a drink down, it goes.
Well, this holds a lot of liquid.
Yeah, so you can just keep it in your hand.
Okay.
Oh dear. Anyway, there's Nikita. She got her ring, and you already know I love it. Yes. In fact, Nikita is the one who sent me one of the pictures, as did Michelle, of it on her hand. But she said, oh my gosh, it's so much prettier than even the website shows it to be. And of course, on the website, it's just a very still, stayed picture of the jewelry with a white background, because they don't want any distraction probably. But I'm glad that you think it's prettier in person. Much better if thinking it's prettier in person than saying, oh my gosh, it looked so much better on the website. Right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's great. I mean, the quality is great. The price is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
More housekeeping.
Oh, okay.
Just because I don't want you to think I say something and then I just ignore it. I'm still working on, with our manufacturer, we're going to be doing,
speaking of jewelry,
some sort of meet and greet.
Okay.
That will include Judy Crowell, Kathy Levin, and there's another host. Oh, that me. So we're going to do a meet and greet. Probably, we talked about maybe on a boat, maybe in a ballroom. I'm leaning more towards ballroom. So I'm going and finding all these places. It's going to be limited attendance, but it's going to be probably in the January, February, March timeframe.
That's a big spread.
I know. So I want you to keep that in mind. And it's going
to clear your calendar.
And it's going to be in the Naples area, and you'll have the opportunity to ask Kathy, Judy, or me anything. But also, there will be a trunk show for jewelry afterwards, including some really high-end stuff that we don't really
have the opportunity to show on this program. Yeah.
But there'll be something for everybody there. But it'll be limited attendance, but I'm going to keep you apprised as I learn more about where it's going to be, what the price will be, and all that.
Karen got the Labradorite ring.
Oh, nice.
Yay!
I love Labradorite.
I know, it's so
always been
pretty.
one of my
That's why I
favorites.
put them together. I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun just to kind of show them off?
Yeah.
Doesn't that look
Yeah.
pretty together? I
It
know.
really does.
But it really makes you appreciate, though, too, the quality, because look at how the size of this stone versus the size that they were able to use in this ring.
Well, and this is really counterintuitive. Like everybody's talking about the rate of inflation.
Mm-hmm.
This is deflation.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
I promise you, I've been in this business a long time. Judy and I have gone to mines all over the world together. You cannot get the stone for the price, and even if you had the stone, you sure as heck couldn't get a ring for $25 that's sterling silver. If it's mystery metal, maybe,
Yeah.
but it's just crazy good deals.
So what I'll do is also remind you of that you just go to shopgemistry.com. So I put that at the bottom of the screen, and in the comments, which are always able to be seen after the show is over, I put the exact link right to the big deal. So it has a little bit more letters and things in it than just the shopgemistry.com, but I thought it would be nice just to be able to,
And by the way,
show it to you
when
quickly.
that event happens,
It's going to be
trust
so
me,
much
you're going to want to be
fun.
there, because even when we just had
Talk
Kathy on
about
our
memories.
show, Kathy on our show, I think it was one of the longest shows we had, because
It was.
it's just it's
was.
pure laughter.
Well, and with all three of us, there was one story that just fed into the next, that fed into the next, that fed into the next. And oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, that's going to be a memorable time.
Too funny.
Oh, speaking of a memorable time, we always enjoy this time with you.
Mhm.
And I just put together a real short little goodbye and a little reminder of what today really is all about. And so say a little silent prayer and a little memory for all of those we lost on 9/11 21 years ago,
And we
and all
encourage
those who helped.
and we encourage you to share this show too, because we want to lift up everybody.
Yeah, hopefully that's what we did for you guys today. So we do plan to see you next weekend for another Sunday Funday, and there are always surprises. They even surprise us from time to time. So have a great day and a wonderful week ahead, and we love you.